I actually want to read you something. I'm from China, an actual socialist country. And this is what the Chinese government said about political correctness. So this is an article translated by Google Translate, so I didn't make this up. In the United States, the typical manifestation of cultural Marxism is political correctness or multiculturalism. For many Americans, political correctness is a vague term that refers to a series of scattered, unconnected views of freedom and novelty, but lacking a unified character. Although these views sometimes appear highly sensitive and even confused, but if careful observations of politically correct history, it will reveal a different face. Therefore, although sometimes cultural liberalism means it is more appropriate, but more accurate expression should be cultural Marxism. In fact, political correctness is not a collection of contingent views. It is carefully arranged attacks on Western civilization. Its main objectives, one of the Christian faith and moral values. Second is the narrow white, especially white men. They are considered to be the source of most violence and exploitations in the world. So it's basically an academic article saying political correctness and multiculturalism threatening to destroy the West. Yes. So that's what a socialist government thinks. And well, right. I'm very surprised that in the liberal America, the social justice left is repeating a lot of the actions of North Korea or the 1960s Cultural Revolution China. And my grandmother, she was one of the Red Guards in the 1960s Cultural Revolution. And what she did, she landed a lot of her professors in jail. And they also had a lot of struggle sessions. And I'm so shocked by how the West does not learn from these histories. And just a few days ago, Janice Fiamingo, this anti-feminist professor at University of Ottawa, has just landed into a leftist kangaroo court at Ontario, Canada. And she was accused of human rights violation. And there was another professor. He is called Jordan Peterson.
He's the one at Toronto, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Refusing to use gender identity pronouns get him landed in social justice. I'm so shocked that people do not learn from these histories from the West.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. I appreciate that. I had a young lady, I think from Kuwait, at one of my talks recently, who said that, if I was talking about Islam, and she said, if the progressives here are determined to bring the culture I fled to the land I found and now love, they can see me outside for a good kicking. And she was, she's somebody who fled a sort of, repressive regime, came to America and discovered these marshaled forces plotting to introduce the sort of authoritarianism and to overthrow Western values, just like she'd seen where she came from. It's always very powerful to hear from somebody who is from one of these cultures, giving us a warning from elsewhere. I try to do it from Europe, but it isn't always sufficiently different culturally to make the point. I think that made the point very well for you all. So thank you very much for sharing.